back and check us out. We're actually going to change the scenery a little bit today, give you kind of more of an insight of pretty much my main career that I do is chiropractic. So I'm actually doing some fill-in work for a good friend of mine, a good colleague of mine who is going out of town this week. So I'm filling in for a few days and just kind of give you a kind of runabout. Even if his office, he has a really great office. It actually has a lot of different things that a lot of patients have access to when it comes to therapies, different types of modalities that sometimes you might not even see in a lot of different offices. And actually his office has actually been around for over 12 years now, so he's definitely got a very prominent practice here. But today, pretty much I'm working with a lot of different patients. Demographics of a lot of Dr. Abrams' patients tend to vary from what I'm used to. Most of my patients that are within the gym setting are usually very physically active. They have a physical background, and most age ranges can be anywhere from the late teens to even like 50s and maybe up to 60. Here, there's actually even a broader range. He is actually more of a holistic family practice, so he actually encompasses little kids, even infants, and then as old as we actually have seen some patients here that are pushing about 90. So of course it's kind of a neat environment to change it up for me, just because get to interact, which I enjoy interaction with patients, but at the same time interact with different demographics. That way everybody's so different when it comes to the whole realm of chiropractic and what somebody might have issues. And of course, always kind of interesting to hear people's stories and these patients that come up to you and they tell you the reason why they got in chiropractic, the reason why they were pretty much when they had their first few visits, why they really just fell into it and they love it. And sometimes hear those passionate stories really, it emphasizes the reason why we do what we do and the reason why I chose this career. It's actually a career that I've always wanted to do since I was pretty much in high school, just from my past football injuries I had, and just really getting involved myself and really put myself out there to really help people in general. And even with the prep coach, I still enjoy helping people in that aspect. So it's kind of nice to have both little areas that I still can have involvement with a lot of people and really expressing like how their body can really take off or get better or do well, or even to put to a point to where it might be at a very low point and to bring it up within say weeks or 2 months. So it's nice to see that transformation for a lot of people. I've just got to give an insight too in the office. Here I see the light. This is the x-ray view box, and we actually do shoot x-rays in here, and most times, even for most people and stuff, x-rays, we're only shooting them if we see there's possible pathology, fracture, something we want to make sure to rule out, because pretty much x-rays only show hard tissue, so it's only showing really anything that's real bony necessarily, so that way we're not going to really see much soft tissue stuff. So if we're looking for ligaments, tendons, and whatnot, then of course that's going to be MRI. But for x-rays, we definitely get to see exactly what's going on structurally underneath, and a lot of times it gives us more too of what's really going on, because the patient can present with something, and of course we don't know exactly where to go sometimes, because it could be a referral pain pattern. And if we see actually on x-ray, we can see a little bit of the structural differences, and maybe even if there's like shifting of the hips or things, and this could be causing lower back pain, or there can be pretty much, we can actually see sometimes even the disc wedging on say of a lumbar spine, and we can actually, okay, well this might be a person who would have a bulging herniated disc, and we can refer to an MRI too, just in case. So just give them an idea. And even from this is actually x-ray from even yesterday, and just kind of new patient stuff, and just kind of give it a look and see of what x-rays we see for. And this is just a typical cervical x-ray, and you kind of can see here, but this is just a normal, pretty much, actually this patient is actually an 83-year-old patient, and technically their curve is not extremely bad, especially for someone who is in their 80s. They do have some degeneration, they do have some wear and tear in the disc space, so they do have about stage 3 degenerative joint disease. And then of course here you see pretty much this is like kind of soft tissue coming over with the shoulder, and if you see the base of the skull here as well. And then these two things of course are just earrings. So a lot of times when we take x-rays, if there's any type of metal or anything like that, they'll show up as an artifact for us, to where it's just something that's just, okay, we know that's there because that's what they were wearing, so that way it doesn't point us to the direction, okay, well something's wrong. It's just something that they were actually wearing when they came in, took the x-ray. So but yeah, this person pretty much it's a patient who came in actually with a little bit of neck stiffness and back pain. So even with her, we did take x-rays of both lumbo, pelvic area, and the neck. And so we'll actually still focus on both areas, but at least, you know, we kind of could see structurally what's kind of going on, and maybe things she didn't know was going on for years, since she is 83. So, you know, it'd be good for her to know that way, at least when it comes to just home care or things that we can do to help her out home, she can do it on herself too. So here's our, you know, little X-ray room, and actually this is where, pretty much, if we, like I said, if we have anybody who has, you know, maybe a pathology or even possible fracture, we just had an accident, we'll go ahead and shoot. Usually go and do cervical X-rays, we'll do thoracic and lumbar pelvic. Some cases too, depending if somebody has extremity issues where there might be an isolated hip or shoulder, we'll actually take an X-ray of that too. And these are the cassettes we use right here. Pretty much we have one small ones, of course, are just more for the cervical region. The bigger ones are more for the lumbar pelvic thoracic regions. And like I said, we pretty much use those intently when we're trying to find, to be sure if anything we want to rule out, especially if it's like I said, if it's a new injury. And pretty much these are the settings here. Can't really, I guess, as far as describing these, as far as the KV, the MA, and just give an idea of the power we use as far as with each shot. Of course, cervical doesn't need as much exposure time as the lumbar pelvic, just because it doesn't have as much tissue to break through. So of course we won't have to penetrate as much, so we don't have to have as much exposure time with it. And of course, like I said, people always worry about, you know, radiation exposure with X-rays. Well, trust me, these are very low. You know, you can have, you know, one done, and you know, you won't have any side effects or anything like that. So even, you know, a lot of times people would get the misconstrued, because X-rays came a long way since way back when they first came in the early 1900s, but you know, they definitely is more safe, and there's nothing that's going to be an issue as far as with radiation exposure. A lot of times patients come up here, this is the kind of the exercise little area for a lot of different stretches. This is one of my favorite ones too, for anyone who has like hip issues or lower back. Great one for stretching stuff. We actually, you know, pretty much have it sit right here to where, you know, give it a little bit of almost a rundown of some of the exercises we do. So patients come here usually by themselves or assisted, already knowing what they have to do as far as for whatever we're trying to rehab, or as far as if it's an injury or whatnot. So like I said, this is kind of a cool area that we do this. This is our upstairs area, so we'll go back downstairs and see what we got. Actually, you're probably good for this table in here. All right, guys, this is a very, very cool table here. You know, a couple practices, you know, might carry, some practices you might even go to carry. This is a flexion extraction table, and it's really good for anybody who has any prominent bulging disc issues, you know, lower back stuff. So pretty much here how we set it up is we actually have the patient lay flat on this, as far as face down, and grab on to these handles here, and we'll adjust this based on, of course, the patient's height and stuff, and where we want their legs and their hips to be relative to this part where it has the crease. And then once we crank it up, what we do is we actually try to stretch the patient at the same time. So as this patient is going down, it's pulling the disc apart, so it's actually allowing a stretch. It's almost like a tractioning of the lower disc. So a lot of times too, patients who have, like I said, the bulging disc issues or herniated discs, this actually gives a lot of relief, and especially if somebody has chronic issues like that. So we'll actually put them on this for a few minutes. Same time, we'll actually hit them with this over here. We call it the thumper, but it's definitely good for like deep tissue, but it's a broad contact. But definitely as far as you can kind of get an idea of pretty much how forceful it can be. But it does really good for just broad contact as far as deep tissue penetration. So a lot of times we'll do that, especially this is more, say, our area too, like if we want to do a lot of lower back stuff, a lot of people who have like chronic lower back pain, or you know, who can have like a pain level of above like a 6 or 7 on a 0 to 10 scale, and who really need a lot more care into that area, we'll definitely focus on this right here. And this is our adjustment room here. You'll actually see a picture of Dr. Abrams and his son up here on the wall. Got some cool little pictures he has up, and he actually has a cool little chart here. He's very big in nutrition, just like I am, so he has a lot of his patients doing, you know, following nutrition protocols as well. Detox programs, a lot of things are weight loss. So whenever, you know, we both look at, you know, we view our patients in a way too. We want overall health. So of course we want to involve everything internally. So even that comes to what, you know, as far as nutrition as well, that accompanies that. So he has, like I said, a cool little diagram here. Really, you know, it's kind of neat for a lot of new patients coming here and see this. That way they can kind of see every time after the first visit, and really log a lot of stuff in and just get repetitive. You'll actually see a lot of good benefits on this board. This pretty much this room, we do carry a good bit of equipment. This is my very favorite thing I actually use a lot, and I've used a lot for years, is the stick. Really good for just, growth as far as around everybody, as far as, lower body work. I use a lot with people who have issues with shoulders, trapezius tightness and things like that. Also, we actually do have another tool over here, and pretty much is for a lot of the patients who can't really take a lot of force adjustments. A lot of the older patients will use this, or if we have somebody who has surgery or has had major issues with, they can't like rotate their neck or rotate certain things, we'll use this as more of a lighter force adjustment. And really all you do is you place different heads to it that we'll use, and then pretty much press in, and just gives a light force multiple adjustment kind of. So we do, like I said, we do have a lot of patients that use that here that have to be older and might be more arthritic or have osteoporosis, so their body can't withstand probably a lot more forceful adjustments. This is the kind of the fun little therapy room. We got something called the spine layered over there. All these are really, we'll put a lot of patients on these when they come in, and a lot of times they'll be on this before they even come see me. We do want to relax the body as much as we can, so a lot of times we do a lot of the different therapies before they get adjusted. That way the body's in a relaxed state, and it's going to be easier to do the manipulation. We also have these chairs, which these chairs are always nice for people who are just waiting. We might have sometimes in some cases, we might have a few people that are coming at one time. So of course, if they're between therapies or they're done, we'll have them sit here for a little bit until I'm done with the next patient, and then we'll bring them in. And here, this is pretty much an open adjusting room. We actually do have a traction in here as well. Those who need circle traction, things that we'll put on this one. Also, here's another table that you can adjust on, which has pretty much the electrical drops and stuff to it. And then, like I said, this here we do like a lot of the diathermies, ultrasounds, pretty much a lot of things that with patients, you have like a lot of soft tissue stuff going on. So this would be the area we're really focusing on them. And like I said, this would be one of the ones we'll actually go to before they get adjusted. This is Angelica. She's actually assistant this afternoon, so she'll be helping with the patients with going to therapies and make sure they're kind of going the way they need to go, as far as if they need to go upstairs to the exercise room, or they need to get on one of the tables, or then come see me finally. She'll bring them in there. And this is Cindy, our office manager, who does an awesome job keeping everything coordinated here. Pretty much this office is a very high volume practice, so honestly without her it'll fall apart pretty quick, because you have to have consistency with just people getting scheduled in and make sure everybody's accounted for in and outside the office. So really great staff here. I've been here, like I said, working with them for a while now, and they really do a good job keeping everything together and stuff. It makes it much easier on the doctor too, because we're not having to stress about what to do next, and we just see the patients, treat them like we need to, and then we're done. All right, guys, so you got a chance to see a little bit of kind of my day here. Like I said, this is, like I said, my first career, so it's definitely something I'm really still very passionate about. Been doing it for almost 9 years now. So, but if you have any questions, I know really I just gave kind of a brief synopsis of just like the things I do here as far as involved in chiropractic, but a lot of you that have injuries or anything, feel free to email me. My email is drtrey51@yahoo.com. It's drtrey51@yahoo.com, all one word. And so that way, if you have any inquiry, especially if it comes to just even like, as far as when it comes to care for yourself, or if you're doing a rehab and injury, if you need any like direction or something, or maybe if it's a source that you need to like say, hey, okay, maybe point me in the right direction where I can get some help, just let me know. Like I said, always here to really just help, especially on this level as far as when it comes to chiropractic. Really so many good benefits from it. If you haven't been to a chiropractor, and I would strongly suggest, because sometimes you'd be surprised at where your body is really at and then where it could be. So.